Hello everyone. Let's work on week number 7 or week report 7. It's definitely now week 7, huh? So for week report number 7, you have 5 things to complete. Discussion board, continue working on them. Um, Note 7, lab 7, report 7, and then work on your final project. Pretty straightforward. So for your notes number 7, this is what you're going to give me. um, Example of each of the wildcards, include 2 or 3 examples. You can use any command you want. I recommend ls because it's easier to understand. And then brace expansion, how to create an entire directory structure, how to use them, etc. Now, you need at least 2 examples for these two. You can use the examples that I have in the extra credit, in the wildcards extra credit document over here, which is also assigned in Blackboard for those of you who want the extra credit, or you can use the one in the presentation, however you choose. Like always, if you go to my repository example, you are going to see how the document is supposed to look like, etc. Moving on, what are you going to do for your notes? Just the usual, convert it into convert the markdown to PDF, push to GitHub, submit to Blackboard. So if I open my VS Code example repository here, you're going to see what I'm talking about. So this is an example of Note 7. Preview to the side. So again, this is my example for notes number 7. Definition, example, definition, example. Also supporting screenshots that I got from the document. You can also use screenshots from your terminal if you want to. Of course, like always, if you want 100 in your notes, include what I am asking you. But if you want your notes to be actually useful, include things that are gonna be helpful to you. Then after that, convert into PDF, then push into GitHub. For week report number 7, you are gonna give me a link to your lab 7 and a link to your note 7. So this is just like the week before, so nothing new here. WR7, WR7.md, lab 7 that is located in labs, lab number 7, and then I'm just gonna do lab7.md. Save your file and convert to PDF. Just to clear. That's taken care of. And for labs number 7 is right over here. For labs number 7, we're going to have 3 questions, question 1, 2, and 3. So you have 2 challenge questions and then 1 question. So for question number 1, just complete the practice in the presentations, 1, 2, 3, 4. I already did that, so I'm just going to put it in my note 7. Here I have P1, 2, 3, and 4. Is how the screenshot looks like, containing all the commands that I use for completing the practice. See? So let me create my markdown file for that. Lab 7. Just gonna minimize this. Oops, not there. Here. Lab7.md. lab 7, Q1, oops, Q2, Q3, P. So I have how many? 4, right? So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we have P1, that PNG, P2, that PNG, P3, that PNG, P4, that PNG, and that's it. And then obviously Q2 and Q number 3. So for Q1 and Q3, let's go and explain them now. So for Q2 or challenge question 1, you're going to use brace expansion to create these two directories. When you finish, you do a tree of both directories and you take a screenshot. So technically speaking, well, after you create the directories, you do a tree command and then you take a screenshot. I'm just gonna take a random screenshot here because I need something to submit. Okay, so this will be Q2.png. So when you finish with both directory 1 and directory 2, you take your screenshot of the tree command and the make directory command, right, as it specifies over here, and you put it in your in your lab 7 directory. So for question number 3, this question number 3 is a bit more involved because in question number 3, you are going to organize a directory and you're going to use the commands that you learned in the previous lab, which is make directory, remove, and you are going to use those two in combination with wildcards so that you can organize the directory. This is the starting point. This is the end point, right? So to get these files, just copy this command here and run it in your terminal. And that's going to give you the folder called website ch1 lab 7. Right? Now, what are the rules for this challenge? You're not allowed to create a directories using the file manager. As a matter of fact, you're not allowed to use the file manager, period. You're not allowed to create one directory at a time. It defeats the point of learning brace expansion. You must learn how to operate with multiple files simultaneously. So you have to use brace expansion to create the directory structure. You're not allowed to move one file at a time. You have to move them using the wildcards. And if you need to delete any file, you must do it too using wildcard. You are not allowed to use the file manager. I repeat, you're not allowed to use the file manager. This challenge must be completed in the terminal. I recommend the following. Here are some tips for you. Use more than one terminal. So open your Tilix terminal and split it several ways. For example, I'm going to use the command here on the left for running my actual commands. This one over here is going to be for practice. So I'm going to cd into, what's the name of the directory again? It is called website challenge 1. Okay, so I'm going to do cd website 1, and then I'm going to do 3 minus a, show me everything. Okay, so I'm going to use this as my playground. Right, and I can use another terminal, so I can split it here too again to practice, whatever command I need to practice, whatever wildcard I need to practice. I can use this terminal here for that. So again, use multiple terminals for different purposes so that you can keep yourself organized. You should identify the directories that you need to create first. So you should go and look at this image. Let me open it in a new page. You should look at this image and try to identify the parent and child directories and then write down either on a text editor or on a pen and paper the directory structure, how it looks like, and then try to execute the command. And once you have the correct directory structure, then you should you should then proceed into moving files, but not until you have the correct directory structure, right? That's step number one. If you get that part wrong, you're not going to get the rest right, because remember that you need to create the directory structure in a single command. Okay, going back to the tips. Before you attempt to move the files, list them first. Yeah, I recommend you do that. So before you try to move any file, you should list them. For example, you can see in this screenshot here that inside images, I have card, footer, hero, item 1, and item 2. Let me ls these files. Let me list them first. Because if I can create a wildcard that can list these files, then all I have to do is change the command from ls to mv. For instance, right? Let me move this. Let me see. Okay, so I have SVG, JPEG, PNG, RAW, and JPEG. So I know that each and every one of these files contain a 3-letter file extension. So I'm gonna do, right? I'm gonna cd website, and I'm gonna list. Let me make this much bigger. And I'm gonna list all the files that contain a 3-letter file extension. Right? And this gives me a bunch of files. It gives me the ones that I want, but it also gives me this file that I don't want, and it gives me this file that I don't want. And there are several ways that I can exclude that file. So first, I'm going to repeat it, and I'm going to sort it by file extension. So I want to get rid of these files here. So I'm going to create a condition that these files do not match. So one way that I could do that is that I can say, give me everything that doesn't start with an underscore. I don't care about the remaining name of the file, but it cannot start with an underscore. And notice that it excluded these files over here, which is fine, but I still have robots.txt. Well, I'm going to keep using the same logic. So not only exclude underscores, but also exclude letters A to Z, capital letters. So again, exclude underscores and exclude capital letters. And there you go. Now I have a wildcard, which will be this, that matches only the files that I need to move to the particular folder that I already created. Okay, so let me go back to instructions over here. Perfect. So that's what I mean when I say you should list the files first, because moving will permanently move the file. And if you messed up when you're moving, then now you're gonna have to delete the folder, run the script again, and start over from the beginning, and you don't want to do that. So listing is not destructive, right? If the ls command doesn't run properly, then nothing happened to your file system, nothing happened to the files in there. Hence why I recommend that you list the files first and then you move them. If it works with ls, it works with mv. When you are done, just take a screenshot of your terminal showing I need to see the make directory command that created the entire directory structure, otherwise you get no credit. And I need to see the move commands that you use. I don't need to see 100% of them, but the vast majority of the move commands. And if you use the same the logic that I'm showing you here, where this command over here is for practicing my um, wildcards. This is for seeing how the directory is looking like. You should be able to have the commands that you're looking for over here. So again, I need to see the move commands and I need to see the make directory command. Let me just take a screenshot of this. Because I need it as an example for my markdown file. And obviously, when you're done with your lab number 7, you are going to do the same thing you do every single week. You're going to create your lab number 7 directory, and then you provide your screenshots where you need to. Q2. I'm going to save my file, Control S, and I'm going to convert to PDF. File conversion successful. All my screenshots are there, and now let's push. And in Blackboard, you know what to give me, the PDF file and the URL of lab number 7.md. And that's it. That concludes your lab number 7. One thing that I recommend that you do, because it's been a while since we do this, is creating a snapshot. So let me turn off my virtual machine completely. Right. As a matter of fact, before you do a snapshot, it will be a good idea to do an update. That would be a very good idea. Now, it's been a while since we updated our virtual machine, so in my case, it hasn't because I just did an update a couple of days ago, but in your case, it probably has been a while. So the update might take a little bit, might take 20, 30 minutes, because I don't think we have updated the system since we did the lab on installing software, and that was like what, 4 weeks ago, 4 or 5 weeks ago. So yeah, just wait until it's done. The update is done, and now I can turn off my virtual machine. Oh, okay, now with the virtual machine off, I'm gonna go into snapshots. And if you have any snapshots here, delete them. They are likely way too old. Take a new one. Oh my God, it's in my face. The button was literally in my face. That is insane. Lab 7. And okay, yeah. And that's it. Let's switch back to details view. There we go. And if you have any questions, you know what to do. Just reach out to me via Slack and we can hop on a call.